Cheshire Police say staff at the hospital where former nurse Lucy Letby worked could face gross negligence manslaughter charges.
The owners of every McDonald's franchise in Britain have been warned they could face legal action if they fail to protect staff from sexual abuse.
Good morning. The £100 limit on contactless payments could be scrapped, allowing shoppers to spend as much as they want without having to use a PIN. But the financial watchdog wants to hear from you about whether to go ahead.
A treat for stargazers this morning. A lunar eclipse is currently underway. The Earth is positioned directly between the Sun and the Moon, casting its shadow onto the lunar surface. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you may well see it soon turn a reddish colour, a so-called blood moon. And we'll be explaining how and why that happens very shortly.
And good morning from Cheltenham Races, where we are waiting to see if the Irish-trained Galopin Des Champs can win the Gold Cup, this famous race, for the first time in a generation. No moon for us this morning, though, Matt, because it's a bit too cloudy.
Certainly is, Mike, but there are some clear skies top and tail of the country this morning, and it'll be a day of sunshine and showers yet again.
A quick look at today's papers. Two stories dominating: the abolition of NHS England and Russia's reservations over a peace deal in Ukraine. We start with The Independent, reporting that the government's decision to scrap NHS England could see 10,000 jobs go. Ministers say this would free up hundreds of millions of pounds every year.
Let's have a look at the Daily Telegraph, leading on Russian President Putin's response to the proposed 30-day ceasefire in the Ukraine war. Reports Mr Putin knocked back the idea due to serious questions he has for US President Donald Trump.
Alongside those two main stories, The Times looks at the benefits of spending time in nature. The paper reports that a study has found that even thinking about the outdoors can change the way the brain processes pain, after patients reported feeling less discomfort while watching nature videos.
Time now is 6:21. The Fostering Network estimates an additional 6,500 foster families are needed across the UK, but say factors including the rising cost of living and biological children staying at home for longer are contributing to the shortage.
Imagine walking outside of your home, school or work and being hit with the smell of rotten egg. That's the reality for people who live in Fleetwood. A landfill site has been emitting the odour for over a year now, with some people complaining of nosebleeds and breathing problems as a result. For half a century, waste was dumped on the Jameson Road landfill site before it closed in 2017. But in late 2023, a new operator, Transwaste, took over and began a £2 million worth of work to bring the site up to operational standards. That meant disturbing old waste in a cell that had laid dormant for 6 years. The residents first reported the rotten egg smell, thought to be hydrogen sulfide, in February last year. Transwaste said it would be temporary while the upgrade took place and that it was working to resolve the issue. A campaign called Stop the Stink has been underway to close the site permanently, and children from a local primary school are the latest to back it.
Today at 1, there's been an unexpected slowdown in the UK economy. It shrank by 0.1% in January, with a slowdown in manufacturing one of the main reasons behind the dip.
We need to go further and faster in growing our economy, in ensuring that we boost our national security and defence, and reforming our public services.
Also on the programme, Vladimir Putin says questions remain about a proposed ceasefire in Ukraine after meeting President Trump's envoy. Every McDonald's franchise owner in Britain is told they risk legal action if they fail to protect their staff from sexual abuse. Will it be a golden treble for Galopin Des Champs as he aims for a third successive Gold Cup at Cheltenham? And a treat for early risers who caught a glimpse of this stunning blood moon during a lunar eclipse.
Also tonight, the economy shrank slightly in January, heaping further pressure on the Chancellor. A cancer charity expresses dismay that a drug for prostate cancer will not be made available on the NHS in England. The remote cottage in West Wales, where an Israeli musician was held hostage, his 3 kidnappers are sentenced to over 8 years. And England manager Thomas Tuchel names his first squad with Jordan Henderson and Marcus Rashford included. The owners of every McDonald's franchise in Britain have been warned that they could face legal action if they fail to protect staff from sexual abuse. The Equalities Watchdog has written to all 1,400 branches, telling them they must comply with their legal duties after a BBC investigation uncovered claims of a toxic culture. McDonald's said it was committed to doing everything it could to ensure a safe working environment.
A shocking rape case involving a French surgeon and hundreds of his patients. We speak to one of the alleged victims. A species in crisis. What's behind the dramatic decline in Buick swans?
It's all about having a flutter and the finest of fashion. We'll have the latest from Cheltenham's Gold Cup Day.
Oh, sweet chariot!
Fans gather ahead of this weekend's Six Nations decider. Defying the odds, the remarkable story of Squid the blind penguin.
And if you were up early under a clear sky, the blood moon made a beautiful start to the day. For those under cloud or their duvet, I'll have more striking pictures along with the national forecast later in the programme.
But first, ITV News has been given figures showing how an increase in the use of hot water bottles is leading to serious injuries. As the temperature dropped and energy prices spiralled, the popularity of hot water bottles shot up. But our investigation has uncovered confusion and inconsistencies surrounding how long they're safe to use. Now the British Standards Institution is to take a fresh look at safety guidelines. And here, the Royal Mint is honouring the music legend John Lennon with a special coin to mark the year he would have turned 85. The former Beatle was shot dead in 1980 at the age of 40.